What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall market. I want to break down some big data that's coming out for tomorrow as we have our economic data being released, not to mention some new developments in the charts. But just know that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. The offer is very soon, in just about 2 weeks from now. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, as far as NIO is going, I mentioned to everyone that there might be a test of this 4.6 area. I said if we broke past this would try to bounce. And if we rejected, we're looking for a dip back down. And if we got that dip, we'd be looking for a move all the way down to about 4.3. So far, NIO tried to rebound during the pre-market, hitting the 4.61 area, only to reject, and we look like we're on our way down to that 4.3 support. So unfortunately, we do look a bit more bearish for the time being. However, as you guys can see, there are gaps to fill above, and there is potential for a big bounce to be coming, depending on how NIO Day goes, alongside NIO's very important data. They're going to give us their deliveries numbers very soon, so we'll see what that leads to. But just keep that in mind, guys. That's going to be pivotal for how this moves moving forward. Now, for some data, just know that on December 16th, 2024, NIO has unveiled the advanced digital architecture of its new flagship ET9. This is going to be very awesome because of the fact that they have state-of-the-art technologies, very, very awesome looking chips and hardware and softwares. And they're also going to be defined from the ground up, guided by overarching experience goals. So, cool stuff in my opinion. I think it's very cool to see these new designs. And they've gotten lots of rewards for them. But as great as designs are, it doesn't really affect the share price much. I think that's what a lot of investors are waiting for. So that's why I want to talk about this piece of news right here. There are more predictions coming out for 2025. One thing that's worth mentioning is that 2024 was not a strong year for NIO's share price because we continue to see it lose a large percentage of its market capitalization. But I think that there, there is potential for big improvement, especially heading into next year, if they could get a big improvement in their margins and we start to see stronger sales. So one of the ways that NIO is trying to offset this is by increasing their scales into volume. So they're trying to get their sales up at a faster rate, and they're going to be starting a third factory, I believe, in the second half of next year. So with Onvo growing, they're trying to continue to grow in a very, very fast manner, and then they're going to get those sales up, and then they should get closer to profitability as time goes on. That's at least what they are hoping for, and we'll have to see if that ends up being the case or not for them. But one thing that's worth mentioning is that is what they're looking out for when it comes to their deliveries and sales goals. So we'll see if they end up completely doubling everything like that. However, as far as things happen, we're going to be looking for them to cut costs and maybe see a profitability like really soon. But as far as the forecasts go, Goldman Sachs is saying that they expect the company to ship 337,000 EVs for 2025. The implied guidance that they're talking about is about 443 to about 449,000. So I hope that we try to beat that. And if we do end up beating that, that's going to be a very, very bullish catalyst for the share price. So I see a lot of potential for the long term in this company. I think that we could be hitting, double digits per share by next year. We will be seeing that if we get insane amount of growth in their sales, but that's going to come just to see how well Onvo is doing in factors like that. So I'll be watching for that. When it comes to other factors, just know that Goldman Sachs is maintaining a more neutral and solid rating, and we'll have to see what happens with their sales next year to really get those improvements. I can't wait to see what their goals are. I think they're going to be talking more about that during NIO Day. The price-price ratio is still down, and NIO is showing some weakness because of that. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they tend to be a little bit stronger, at least for the share price. But the issue is that we're not really getting a big move yet. And then I also want to mention that as far as their data goes, we have about 36 million volume. A little bit low volume is still coming to the share price. For the broader markets, the majority of stocks were in the red, but there were a lot of big tech stocks holding up, like Tesla, Amazon, Google, and the list goes on. Lots of the Mag 7 were holding up. That's why the market was kind of flat. We did see some more upside than downside. And then tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. Please know at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15 minutes before market open, we have the industrial production numbers coming out. So watch and see some volatility once that data is released. I can't wait to see what that leads to. That might cause some volatility before market open, so we'll see what happens. And then besides that, there's not really much else that's coming out. We do have FOMC on Wednesday, so the market's getting ready for that. And then right now, the market is greedy. That's making up the majority of sentiment. We'll have to see if that continues. But what do I see for the share price? Well, honestly, guys, we should try to pop and then maybe continue this dip into the 4.3 area very soon. That's going to be a strong support. So I'd like to see us test that and try to bounce. So there could be a bit more downside coming before it tries to bounce. So look and see for a little bit more downside for that target. However, we'll have to see what happens after that. On the other hand, SPY is just completely range bound right now. As you can see, it's getting tighter, and we're stuck in this range. We like to get bought back up around the 602 to 603 area, and we're rejecting off the resistance right over here. So what we could do is we could take this like a little pennant that could be forming just like this. It looks like SPY is just continually getting tighter and tighter until we officially see some kind of break. So that's looking like the most likely case, at least for now. We'll have to see when we end up breaking. This pennant could continue for the rest of the week, but FOMC is going to be the big factor that could actually kind of shift things. So we'll see what that leads to. Okay. So the market's not guaranteed to be stuck like this forever. We might just continue to go back and forth like this for some time. And then FOMC is going to cause a break either to the upside or the downside. We'll have to see which direction it ends up being in. For other factors out there, if you look at ES, it's the same thing essentially, completely range bound price action. We might return back down to about the 60-60 area, maybe a little bit below that, then try to bounce. That's all I'm seeing for now. Lots of sideways price action. And once again, for SPY, I forgot to mention this. We're range bound right now. So it could dip back down to this support and just bounce off this and continue to trade sideways as well. As far as Nvidia goes, we have to see if we could try to base at this 130 area, because when you look back at the chart like this, you could see that we are at support right now, so we need to hold 130. If it does not hold, this is going to be at risk of dipping even lower, all the way down to 128 or so. So if 130 holds, look for 132, then 135 as our targets. If we can't get back above 130, though, there's going to be a risk of dipping to 128. I do want to mention there's like a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder forming, which typically leads to more downside, and that could drag NIO all the way down to much lower levels. Sorry, not NIO, Nvidia. So there's a risk of downside, so be careful with Nvidia because of that, but we'll see how things go. It will eventually try to base soon. For Bitcoin, unfortunately, we did push very, very nicely, but now we're at a very tough resistance, which is what slowed us down throughout the day at 108,000. So look for a dip closer to about 104,500, and we'll see if we bounce off that or not. Look for a small pullback, and then we'll see how it goes from there. As far as Tesla goes, we look very bullish. We're at 470 a share. It looks like this thing is just continuing to squeeze, and we're getting closer to $500 as I speak. So it's very, very bullish. As long as we don't lose support at around 450 now, this will likely continue. So look for a test of 470. If that breaks, we're going to be looking for a bigger push for 480 plus. Overall, Tesla remains a lot more bullish. Overall, I think that is looking quite good, and I think there's a good chance this attempts to continue. We could be looking for 475, then 480 is our targets. Overall, it's doing a great job. NQ hits 21,100, 22,100, excuse me. That breaks, looking for 22,200 is our target, so it looks more bullish. For the QQQ, we look more bullish on a very, very nice uptrend. We're going to be approaching 540 soon, so I do expect a little bit more upside, but then watch that resistance. Apple's breaking out, bouncing off its 20 EMA, so we're looking for a test of 252. Overall, looks more bullish. The IWM Russell 2000 is trying to bounce here. We could be looking for a test of 235.5. That could also be more bullish. Coin, on the other hand, is, at least from how it closed yet today, it's kind of flat right now. There is that gap to fill, so it might come down to fill that gap at 311, but it's very tight for now until FOMC's results come out. Amazon's more bullish. We could be looking for a test of 235 plus. Meta is looking decent. As long as you don't lose 622, we could be pushing for 630 plus. Microsoft looks more bullish. This head and shoulders did not end up panning out. We held support here, so this could be signifying a push for 453. And then Google's at resistance at 200. We'll have to see how it reacts to this. Could be forming like a cup and then a handle, so it might be a little dip coming to about the mid 190s before it tries to break out. So overall, it's still looking quite good. With that being said, guys, I thank you all so much for listening. The market is range bound for the most part, but a lot of big tech stocks are looking bullish. Tesla's looking very bullish as well, and that could drag things higher. There is more upside potential, but for now, we'll see which way the market goes, especially as we have FOMC very soon. So give the market the time it needs. Anyways, I wish you all the best, and just know that as far as NIO goes, there's going to be a risk of more downsides about the 4.3 area. So it might continue to dip lower, and then we'll have to see if it bases there or not. This is no surprise. Just give it some time to develop, and we'll see if we get some kind of bounce once NIO Day's results come out in just a couple of days. Okay, so thank you for listening. Have a good day. Be prepared for some more downside, and we'll see if we bounce off that 4.3 area. I thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.